I was not, I heard of Liu Xiaobo because I was a publisher and he was publishing books. And I was just watching what was being published in China, not reading everything, but just trying to see what the scene was. I heard of him more again when he made a statement on democracy. And that became, you know, when I became conscious of him. But not something that I really concentrated on. Then when he won the Nobel Prize, of course I was very conscious of him, both because I knew of what that could mean, and I was anxious to see what it would mean in China. I had actually, when Andrei Sakharov could not go to get his award, his wife was allowed to go, and she invited me. So I had actually been at the ceremony, and at that time Sakharov was actually attending the trial of a friend of his, and it was a very dramatic moment. So I wondered a lot whether Liu Xiaobo getting the prize would make him somebody that the government would treat with great care. They did exile Sakharov to Gorky, but he was not allowed to communicate. But physically he was fine. He ate well, he had an apartment. I mean, he was not, Liu Xiaobo was entirely different. Liu Xiaobo was put in prison after his work, which was unconscionable to put a Nobel Prize. I mean, the Chinese just sort of respected the fact of what the world thought of it. And I don't understand them not. And then when they didn't treat him well when he was sick, it's very sad. It's something that the government is going to have to live with, because whether people speak to them about it or not, it will always be in people's mind when they see Chinese officials that this could happen in their country. The thing I don't understand, I'm 94, I've been in human rights all my life, and the purpose of human rights is really to free speech, to free human minds. I've never wanted to preach to another country. You know, they have to do it their way, and change has to come, really, I've learned, from within a country. We can study it, we can look at it, we can talk to the people, but it has to come from within the country. It has to be the meeting of the population of the country, and the government has to want to help the people, because the minds of their people are one of the greatest assets the country has. And that's what surprises me about the Chinese government. They've been so smart and really so successful in bringing China along economically and bringing so many, lifting the standard of some of the people, not all, but some, and making economic progress. I haven't understood why people that smart don't understand the value of having free speech and people's will being able to express themselves, because so much comes from that. Not only does it come in new businesses and new ways of doing things, actually from their point of view, that it has economic value. Movies, books, and entertainment of every kind, and the people who do that are some of the highest paid people in the world, outside of China. So the fact that they won't allow the arts and literature and, to flourish, they're not only hurting themselves in denying their own people intellectual growth, but they're also stopping what they want so much, which is economic growth. And I've never been able to understand it. I hope, and this is a dream that is, I don't want to appear naive, but one would hope that the world reaction to the death of Liu Xiaobo, which is going to live for a long time in people's minds, might lead them to think we made a mistake and we should make some change. We should allow more openness in China. It would be good for us. I'm very concerned about that at the moment, because watching it, I see them persecuting lawyers who take cases they don't like. And one of the quotations I've always liked from America is how a democracy or how a country treats the lowest third of its people is whether will decide on whether that country moves forward or not, the people of trouble. And when you deny them legal representation, they become hopeless. They can't get justice from their own government. The end is the great sadness of what has happened, and the hope that, the world knows what's happened. I'm just repeating myself now. The hope that people in the Chinese government will find a way to not let it happen again.